My brothers and sisters, a lot of people don't give the importance to reading the biography of the great imams of Islam. Wallahi, reading their biography will change your life. That's why I say, brothers, books like Sifat as-Safwah, Siyar A'lam an-Nubala, Hilyat al-Awliya wa tabaqat al-Asfiya, al-Bidaya wan-Nihaya. These books has to be in your library. Not only is it in your library, but you read it. Hassan al-Basri was like a man ذهب إلى الآخرة. He went to the Akhirah. فعاينها, he looked at Jannah, Nar, Malaika, what it's like, Arasat Yawm al-Qiyamah, and he came back to tell the people about it, the way he used to talk. Dhahabi even says, كان كلامه يشبه كلام الأنبياء. His words would resemble the words of the prophets. And that would only happen because he lived by the words of the Prophet, memorized it, studied it. He just started to become like it. You see somebody in a different country, he loves this rapper, he loves listening to him, he dresses like him, acts like him. He even starts talking like, he sounds like him. The Aimah were like that when it came to the Prophet ﷺ. And I'll tell you 3 reasons alone why it's very important to read the Siyar A'lam was-Salihin, reading the biography of the pious people, the righteous people. Number 1, al-Himma al-Aliya, high aspiration comes from it. أولا, al-Himma al-Aliya, high aspiration. The story of the pious people, it will plant in your heart. It plants in the person's nafs. This burning fire within you comes out towards good, of course. And it will increase your iman. And as you all know, the poet said, إِذَا مَرِضْنَا تَدَاوَيْنَا بِذِكْرِكُمُ وَنَتْرُكُ الذِّكْرَ أَحْيَانًا فَنَنْتَكِسُ. يعني إِذَا مَرِضْنَا, it means مرض القلب. If we become a little bit sick, يعني we drop, we dip a little bit. إذا مرضنا, we become مرض النفس. يعني we جهل and غرور and kibr and whatever it may be enters our heart. إذا مرضنا تداوينا بذكركم. We cure ourselves with your remembrance, أهل العلم. Now we look at these humble imams, noble, righteous, hard-working. وَنَتْرُكُ الذِّكْرَ أَحْيَانًا, and sometimes we might leave off their reading their biography, and what happens to us? فَنَنْتَكِسُ, we fall back on our heels. And we go back towards the bad. Does that make sense, brothers? So, reading the imams before, that's what it does for you. You grow from it. And sometimes, I promise you cry, sometimes you will laugh. And it's an amazing feeling to have when you read the imams of the Salaf. And you know what it does for you as well? And it's still the first point. What you read in the Quran, you literally see it being implemented by people. So it shows you the practicality of these nusus. That it's not just a theory in the air. It's actually practical. It can be done. Some of the Salaf, they used to say, مَا نَحْنُ فِي مَنْ مَضَى إِلَّا كَبَقْلٍ فِي أُصُولِ نَخْلٍ طِوَالٍ. مَا نَحْنُ فِي مَنْ مَضَى means, what are we compared to those who preceded us? I think it was Abdullah ibn Mubarak who said this. مَا نَحْنُ فِي مَنْ مَضَى. هو من أئمة السلف himself. He said, what are we فِي مَنْ مَضَى compared to those who came before us? Actually, that wasn't Abdullah ibn Mubarak. This was a statement of Abu Amr ibn al-Ala rahimahullah, one a'immatul qurra'i al-kibar, imamun fil lugha, and imam, one of the qurra'i al-kibar. He said, "Ma nahnu fi man mada." What are we compared to those who preceded us? He said, "Illa kabaqlin," we are like a mushroom under a big tree. Ma nahnu fi man mada illa kabaqlin fi usuli nakhlin tiwal, a tree that its branches are high in the air. That's how we are, small and they're big. Some of the Salaf actually even said, إِذَا ذُكِرَ السَّلَفُ افْتَضَحْنَا. If the Salaf is mentioned, we're exposed. We get exposed. You really know us like we're nothing. It exposes you for what you really are. Sah? Do you agree? That's what it does to us. Abdullah ibn Mubarak said this, rahimahullah. He said, لا تعرضن بذكرنا مع ذكرهم ليس الصحيح إذا مشى كالمقعد. Now, don't mention our names next to these people's names. لا تعرضن لذكرنا مع ذكرهم. Don't mention Abdullah Mubarak with the other imams he's trying to say from the Salaf. He's an imam himself, Abdullah Mubarak. 1 year he'll do jihad fi sabilillah, and 1 year he's going hajj. Abid Khurasan, they used to call him. And Ibn al-Qayyim, we're going to see what his life was like, what kind of person he was. I'll show you guys, inshallah, amazing things about this man. Everyone just sees Qala Ibn al-Qayyim, like in, what was he like as a person, as an individual, something else. So the first thing I want to say is it increases your iman, increases your aspiration. That's why part of your life is reading the Salaf. Abu Hanifa rahimahullah said, قراءة سير السلف أحب إلي. قراءة سير السلف, reading the biography of the pious predecessors, is more beloved to me than having a lot of fiqh, studying fiqh issues. Reading the biography of the Salaf is more beloved to me. The imams, what they were like. Why? Because it puts theory into practice for you. It shows you how it's done. It's very important, brothers. That's why I say, brothers, books like Sifat as-Safwah, Siyar A'lam an-Nubala, Hilyat al-Awliya wa tabaqat al-Asfiya, al-Bidaya wan-Nihaya. These books, we're going to talk about more kutub, inshallah ta'ala, on the seerah of the ulama. It has to be in your library. Not only is it in your library, but you read it. There's a kitab, it's actually translated now, walillahi alhamdu wal minna, in the English language. And it is Ibn al-Jawzi, rahimahullah, authored it. He talks about the life of Imam al-Hassan al-Basri, rahimahullah. Do you guys know Hassan al-Basri? Hassan al-Basri was said about him, the Dhahabi mentions in his Siyar A'lam an-Nubala. He said, Hassan al-Basri was like a man ذهب إلى الآخرة. He went to the Akhirah. فعاينها, he looked at Jannah, Nar, Malaika, what it's like, Arasat Yawm al-Qiyamah, and he came back to tell the people about it, the way he used to talk. يعني Dhahabi even says, كان كلامه يشبه كلام الأنبياء. His words would resemble the words of the prophets. And that would only happen because he lived by the words of the Prophet, memorized it, studied it. He just started to become like it. You see somebody in a different country, he loves this rapper, he loves listening to him, he dresses like him, acts like him. He even starts talking like, he sounds like him. People, so this, the Aimah were like that when it came to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, sah. So Al-Imam Ibn al-Jawzi authored that kitab on the life of Hassan al-Basri, Adabuhu, Hayatuhu, and he even mentions the kalam of Hassan al-Basri. One of the statements that he said, wallahi, it shows you the power of his words and how deep it was. He said, وَإِن طَقْطَقَتْ بِهِمُ الْبِغَالِ وَهَمْلَجَتْ بِهِمُ الْبَرَاذِينَ فَإِنَّ ذُلَّ الْمَعْصِيَةِ لَا تُفَارِقُ وُجُوهَهُمْ أَبَى اللَّهِ إِلَّا أَن يُذِلَّ مَنْ عَصَاهُ. That's exactly our situation today. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which we're going to see all this, I'm going to explain inshallah ta'ala. It's in here, it's in these books. It's actually in this book, inshallah, Da'wah. That humiliation, my brothers, of sins, its effects are seen in your face the daytime. Humiliated in daytime, what you do at nighttime. And the good that you do the daytime, you'll be invited to worship Allah at nighttime. Qiyamul Layl. Allah will say, come talk to me, I'll talk to you. You're honored to have that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What you do daytime. And what you do nighttime, Allah will prevent you from rizq the daytime. All of that, inshallah ta'ala, this kitab. We're going to take it all, inshallah ta'ala. The second benefit that you take, my brothers and sisters, is salahul qalb. It perfects your heart. The qisas as-salihin, siyarul ulama, the anbiya, number one, what does it do? Salahul qalb. Your qalb to be clean. And that's something, that's a maqsad min maqasid al-sharia, is it not? ألا وإن في الجسد مضغة إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله وإذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله ألا وهي القلب. There's an organ inside the human body. That organ, if it's upright and it's steadfast and it is as it should be, guess what? The entire body is going to follow through. And if that organ is corrupt and destroyed, the entire body is also going to be destroyed. And that is what? What organ is that? The heart. The heart controls. That's what Abu Hurairah said, athar, which is mawquf. Abu Hurairah said, rahimahullah ta'ala, he said, al-qalbu malikul a'da. فإن طاب الملك طابت الجنود ورعاياه وإن خبث الملك خبثت الجنود ورعاياه. The qalb is the king. It's the ruler. If it's upright, the entire body is going to be upright. If it's corrupt, the entire body is going to be corrupt. In order to perfect your heart, one of the things that you need to do is to read the stories of the righteous people. And Allah did that for Nabi Allah Muhammad. نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك. We're going to tell you a story of Muhammad. And Allah told him the story of Nabi Allah Yusuf. Why did Allah tell him? لنثبت به فؤادك ورتلناه ترتيلا. To strengthen your heart. لقد كان في قصصهم عبرة لأولي الألباب ما كان حديثا يفترى. In their story is lessons for you. It's not just a mere story where you sit back and you drink a coffee or tea and say, wow, it was amazing, that was shocking. Lessons, brothers. So the Prophet was strengthened with what? Stories. from the previous nations and what happened to them and how they were, and when they disobeyed Allah, how they were dealt with, and etc. Does that make sense, brothers? And then for you, your heart to be perfected, you need the story of the righteous people. Again, the Kitab of Ibn al-Qayyim is going to bring those stories and those previous nations, especially when he talks about uqubatul ma'asi and the athar that it has, the effects that it has. He will say to you, what happened to this nation? What happened to this group of people? What happened to those people? He brings it back to the stories of the past. The third benefit that it gives you, inshallah ta'ala, is ma'rifatul insan. The person will know qadara nafsihi. You'll start to really know what you're like. It will put you in your place. You will know your reality. And that's what I mentioned before when it was said, إِذَا ذُكِرَ السَّلَفُ افْتَضَحْنَا. When the Salaf are mentioned, we're exposed. Hamdun al-Qassar, this kalam, you can get it in the Kitab of Ibn al-Jawzi, Sifat al-Safwah. He said, من نظر في سير السلف. But look at, pay attention to this kalam. والله يستحق أن يكتب بماء الذهب. If you look at the biography of the Salaf, you will, what will happen to you? عرف تقصيره. You will know where you're falling short. وتخلفه. And you'll also know where you're not coming through. You'll know. عن درجات الرجال. من نظر في سير السلف عرف تقصيره وتخلفه عن درجات الرجال. If you look at the biography of the Salaf, you will know your own deficiencies and where you're falling short from where these big giant men were like. Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, look what he said. الحكايات عن العلماء ومجالستهم. The story of the imams of al-Islam, their stories and what happened to them and what they did. وَمُجَالَسَتُهُمْ, and sitting with the people of knowledge is what? أَحَبُّ إِلَيَّ, is more beloved to me than what? مِنْ كَثِيرٍ مِنَ الْفِقْهِ, a lot of fiqh. لِأَنَّهَا آدَابُ الْقَوْمِ وَأَخْلَاقُهُم, because that's the mannerism and the etiquettes of those previous imams. Ibrahim al-Nakha'i said, we used to come to Masruq. We used to just come to him. كُنَّا نَأْتِي مَسْرُوقًا فَنَتَعَلَّمُ مِنْ هَدْيِهِ وَدَلِّهِ. And we would sit down and we just watch how he walks, how he talks, how he responds, that's what we sit there, and that's what we would do. We literally travel just to sit with him so we can benefit that from him. Sharik ibn Nahik al-Khawlani قال لي أبو درداء. Sharik ibn Nahik al-Khawlani rahimahullah, he said, Abu Darda said to me, من فقه الرجل ممشاه ومدخله ومخرجه مع أهل العلم. Do you want to know somebody's fiqh, understanding of the religion? It's all based on the way he walks, the way he enters places, the way he carries himself. All of that is his fiqh. And because of that, wallahi brothers, the makatib al-Islamiyya, the Islamic libraries, are full of books just on biographies.